how's it going? I am so glad to be back. I am ready to go and come back for a little bit longer here on my YouTube channel. If you don't know, I took a nice long break, so I thank you so much for being patient with me, and I hope you guys had a great holiday season. I really enjoyed just being able to focus on my family and the holidays, and it was a great, refreshing, busy, fun holiday time. But we're in January now, right guys? So we are in the middle of our school year, and really no matter whether you start right in August or if you're year round, or this is definitely a mid-year point for most of us. So it's about the mid-year point for me and my family right now. So I wanted to give you a mid-year homeschool update today and share with you how a few of the things are going. I'm gonna share with you 3 or 4 changes that I've made for our homeschool for this next semester. And we're not gonna talk too much about curriculum today. I have other videos about that on my channel, but today we're gonna talk about those changes that I've made for our family and for my kids for their homeschool for this semester. First change that I've made for our homeschool is starting at a more specific time. I'm going to say more specific because it's not always the exact time every day, but I needed some kind of anchor for our mornings. I noticed that especially if I let the children sleep in a little too long and they didn't know when school was starting, they would kind of get into their own activities, which I have kind of trained my kids to entertain themselves and get into their own activities, like their drawing or their Legos or whatever. I've trained them to do that, but that kind of backfires when I want to do school with them and I want to do activities with them. And it's like, hey guys, it's time to start. And they're off doing their Legos or drawing or, you know, all the things that my kids like to do. But I was like, hey, we needed something to start us off for the day so they know that school is starting and I need their attention. So I decided to have World Watch News be our little anchor. It used to be morning time, but I'll talk more about how we do our morning time in a little bit. But I've stopped doing our morning time as our first thing. So I tell my kids, you need to be ready and seated at the table by about 9 a.m. and we're gonna start a World Watch episode. If you're not here by 9 a.m., you're gonna miss out on the episode. And so they know that they have to get through their morning jobs, make sure they're ready, dressed for the day, and get some breakfast. I think that's the other thing I have them do. They can eat their breakfast while they watch World Watch, and that's usually what ends up happening. But having that ready gets them in the mindset, okay, we're starting for the day. And it's not something that I have to be there and be ready for, because sometimes I'm not ready on time. And that's the whole secret, is it's something else that they can sit and do while I finish getting ready. Because like I said, I'm not always ready. I'm working on that. I do have to say again, this is most days what I use. Sometimes if we end up sleeping later, it's been a late night because of church activities, then I say, hey, at 10 this morning, you need to be ready at the table for World Watch, or 9:30, things like that. So I can use this as an anchor, but it doesn't have to exactly be at 9 a.m. every morning. That's the goal again, but we're not always consistent in that. And realistically, it doesn't happen exactly every morning like that, but I needed something that was that anchor. So that's what we've started to do for this semester. The second change that I have made for our mid-year update change, the second semester, is our morning family worship time. And I'm so thankful for this. It had been on my heart for a while now to incorporate or involve, I guess, my husband with our Bible time with the kids. And I've been doing Bible time with the kids for years. It's been ever since the beginning. I have lots of videos on my channel, more about how to do Bible with kids, and a lot of my favorite resources that I've been using with my kids for years. So if you want to learn more about that, you can check these videos out later. But I wanted my husband to join us, and he wants to join us too. We just hadn't jumped into doing that yet. So my husband and I talked, and we knew that this was important, that we needed to make it happen and make it consistent. So we looked at all the options that we could possibly meet together and do our family worship time. Because my husband works from home, we have several options. So we decided to do it at breakfast time, first thing in the morning before my husband goes to work and starts his day. Because we noticed we're not always here at dinner time, not all of us are always here at dinner time, and with some evening activities, sometimes we don't technically have time to do that together because as soon as we get home from an evening activity, the kids really need to get in bed. The other thing we did to help us be more consistent with this is we only aimed for 3 weekdays. So instead of saying like, we're gonna do this every day at 8 a.m. is family worship time, or instead of saying we're gonna do this even every weekday, Monday through Friday, my husband and I looked realistically at what can we do that would be consistent and keep up with, and that would be 3 days a week. And we decided Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. With us shooting for the goal of having it 3 times a week, it's been more consistent, and it's been great to finally do Bible time with my husband. And he has been able to teach the kids some really great things. We've had some good conversations. So what does a typical family worship time look like for us currently? By the way, my kids are ages 8, 11, and 13 right now. For us currently, we do a hymn to start out. So as the kids are waking up, I turn on a hymn on the laptop at the table. And as we're coming to the table, we're listening and or singing it. And then we do our prayer time together. I have prayer cards that I've used from Life in the Mundane from my friend Katie that she created for families to use. And this is free. I printed them out, laminated them, and we've been using this for about a year or so now, and it's been so helpful. My 13-year-old doesn't use them anymore because she has built more of a habit of thinking of what she can pray for, but my 2 younger boys still use it, and it's super helpful to give a visual or give ideas. Okay, what can we talk to God about today? And how do we talk to God? We praise him, we thank him, we ask for forgiveness, and we ask for things, needs that we have. But those are some great tools that we've used for that, for prayer. Then the most important part, or these are all important, but we try to make sure we read the Bible together. And we either follow the morning time plans from A Gentle Feast. She has a Bible reading plan in there. Or we pick our own, or we for December, we did a Christmas Advent morning time Bible reading during December. But now that we're in January, we've actually decided to go with Matthew, and we're studying the life of Jesus now. So we're reading Matthew all together, and we read it together and then talk about it, and it's super, super short and sweet. We also love to share a memory verse together, and we've been doing this again for years, but I usually do it just with myself and the kids, but now it's with my husband, and it's been so fun. So we're doing the Exodus memory verse from the Gentle Feast morning time plans that we have that we're doing all together. And then lastly, if we've got time, we do our family mottos. I did print off a sheet from Katie at Life in the Mundane. She has some family mottos that they have used. I've also used mottos from Misty Winkler at Simplified Organization and Simply Convivial. And then this season, for this semester, I've picked mottos myself. I found a big list and I was like, oh, we need to work on that. We need to work on that. One of my favorites is say what you mean what you say, but don't say it meanly. So we're working on children, say it's okay what you want to say. Just don't say it with a mean attitude, okay? Another one is hard is not bad, hard is just hard. And that's been a good lesson that all of us really still need to learn. So that is what our current family worship morning time together looks like right now. And we make sure all of our kids are together for that. But as far as my regular morning time, I'm doing that about once a week now. It's not a daily thing. And my oldest is not always with us, which makes me kind of sad, but I've talked to a few people and they say that's kind of just what happens. At least it is in our season right now. I'm hoping to not have her leave completely for morning time, but that's what I'm noticing as my kids get older and they have just more load for them to be working on. So I want to make sure that morning time is happening at least once a week, but it's not necessarily a daily thing anymore. And that's given me a lot more peace because I was really stressed about it for a while. But now I'm like, you know what? Something is better than nothing. And I'm not ready to let go of it 100% and be like, no more morning time. Everybody's just growing up and you all are getting too old for it now. I don't believe in that. I want to still do it, but it's just going to be modified for our current season that my kids are in. By the way, if you want to learn more about growing in consistency along with me, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well as give the video a like while you're at it. And I would love for you to join me here at Joyful Noise Learning. Welcome if we haven't met yet. My name is Ashley. I am a homeschooling mom to 3 kiddos. I've been homeschooling for about 10 years now. I am a former English teacher. I also loved teaching drama for a little bit as well. My mission here is to help you grow in your homeschool and work your homeschool to your children's needs so that way you can find joy in your family and honor Jesus. Here on my channel, I love to talk about Charlotte Mason-inspired things, affordable curriculum tips, and biblically based curriculum, as well as help the scattered homeschool mom who struggles with consistency. That's kind of been our theme for this year, right, ladies? For those of you who've been with me for a while, our theme has kind of been talking about consistency and being a little less scattered with who we are as homeschool moms. So glad you're here to join us. Let's get into what are the changes that I've made for our mid-year update. All right, that's the whole thing about family worship and morning time. But the third thing that I've decided to change is our read aloud. I thought, oh my gosh, I don't want to change the read aloud. Read aloud has been a huge anchor in our homeschool. But again, with our choices for what my kids are doing currently, some classes that they're taking outside of the home, some online streaming classes that they're taking in clubs, as well as our co-op that we're still a part of. We love all these activities and we love read aloud, but read aloud doesn't happen every day anymore. Can't believe I'm saying that. But it's okay. So again, I'm realizing that something is better than nothing, and it doesn't have to be all or nothing. When I'm not able to be as consistent with reading aloud every day, part of me wants to just be like, fine, no read aloud. We're never doing it again. But I know that's what I do not need to do. What I need to do is find something I can be consistent in and be thankful for the little bits and pieces that we get. And so I haven't kicked read aloud to the curb just yet. We are still doing it, but it is also not done every day, and I'm okay with it for now. I might be moving it to bedtime again because it's been a while since we've done that, but I think during the winter, we are home a bit more earlier in the evenings. I've been wanting to do that, but haven't done that just yet, but that's in my mind. I've also been relying on audiobooks a lot more, even just at home, so I can, finish cleaning the kitchen. I turn on an audiobook while the kids sit here in the living room. I'm okay with that. Or if we're out and about, going to orthodontist appointments or co-op or whatever, we listen to the audiobook in the car on the way there. And that's helped a lot. And the kids love it. They love listening to it. We've been listening to Henry Huggins with the boys, and my daughter, she's in the car, but the boys listen to it mostly, but they love it and they're laughing so much. Such a great series. We're on the 2nd book now. We've also started reading and listening. When I have a chance to read, I will. I started, I think, on the 1st chapter. And then we've been listening to The Long Winter by Laura Ingalls Wilder. And we've been loving it because we've just started winter here. In where I live, we have a blizzard going on today as I film this. But it's really fun to see how they handled their blizzard weather in the long winter. But anyway, that's just what we're reading so far. And along with this, like I said, my oldest, my 13-year-old, does not always join us anymore. Again, I'm not ready to be like, never have her, but I listened to a podcast from my friend Amy at Humility and Doxology. It's her Homeschool Conversations podcast. And she interviewed Sarah McKenzie from Read Aloud Revival. And they were talking about how, especially with your older kids, if they're not there for every read aloud time, that's okay if they're there for some. Especially if you maybe choose a book that your oldest has already heard or read and you read it with your younger kids, your oldest can come in and out and not have to hear every detail. But I'm even doing that with The Long Winter. My daughter hasn't been listening to every chapter with us, but she also hasn't read the book yet, but it is kind of a story we can just fill her in and say, hey, what did we read about last time? Let's fill her in with what she missed. So that's what I've been doing just recently, and I'm excited for how that's gonna go. And again, trying to live in peace, not living in an all or nothing world, and taking the little bits that I can with my kids right now. Okay, the last change that I've made for this semester is I'm taking a more interest-led focus with my boys with some other schooling with the fun schooling journals. We've literally just started this last week, but they're excited. who knows how long the excitement will last, but hey, we need a little bit of excitement here in January. And here's the story. So story time. I started the year off for their social studies and history. We were doing ancient history because I've been following like a loop, US history, medieval, and ancient history. And this year was supposed to be ancient history. And I was like, oh, this sounds awesome. So we were doing a little bit with that, with the books from Beautiful Feet books, but my boys were not interested as much as they were in the books that I was reading or in the topics we were talking about. They're a little bit creeped out by like mummies and Egyptian stuff, which I'm like, really? I thought this would be cool. It's interesting to me. But I guess I could see how it could be a little bit creepy for younger kids. So anyway, I decided to shelve, we'll just say that, not scrap, but shelve the Beautiful Feet books guide for now. And I don't want to just stop it and leave it. So what we're doing is we're going to wrap up our ancient history / Egyptian study with watching the 10 Commandments and the Prince of Egypt. Because I'm like, oh, perfect. That's like ancient history stuff. It's not all completely historically accurate or biblically accurate. I know that. We've been talking about it as we're watching the movie and being like, okay, that wasn't really in the Bible, or, this really wouldn't have happened. But it's just to give them a good visual and something for us to talk about. And they're way more interested in this than they were with the books I was reading. So we're going to finish up and wrap up that. And then I got the Minecraft journals from the Thinking Tree Fun Schooling journal. This is really neat because it is interest led. And this is kind of how I've been wanting to do school with the boys or my kids in general. And I kind of did this when they were younger, but I was not, again, I didn't have a good plan or a foundation for it. And I wasn't sure how to squeeze it in with, all the other things we have to do. But I feel like now is a good time. And with these journals, they kind of give me a guide, like, okay, do this today. Okay, do this today. Do this today. But it's still interest led, like within the activity that you're doing. It's like, okay, read the books that you got from the library. Now talk about it and write about it. So it is kind of helpful with some narration things in there too. One of my favorite things was it said, have the kids pick 8 topics, up to 8 topics that they are interested in learning about. Write these down. Then we go to the library and they get books or movies or magazines about these topics and we bring them home. And they need at least 1 book per topic. Oh my gosh, that was so much fun. They loved it. They're like, oh, I can't wait. And they got to pick their topics and they're picking things like, let's learn about robotics or rockets, building in Minecraft, which I'll allow, motors and cars. They wanted to learn how cars work. One of them picked weather and he wants to learn more about like hurricanes and tornadoes and fun weather facts. And electricity, that was another thing too. But I was like, yes, like this is all that I love doing. And they're picking things and it just made me really excited that they were excited. And I told them, you only need to do about 2 or 3 pages, a couple days a week in your journals. And some of them are like, no, I want to do this every day. And the thing is, I'm not using this to replace everything we've been doing. We're still going to be doing their math and writing curriculum and spelling as well. I'm sticking with the things I have for that. But this is just something to take place of science and history, basically. And I'm really excited. This is how I've always kind of done it, just getting living books from the library. But it gives us a little more purpose and a little more intention and a little more direction for what to do with those books. So, and one of my boys really enjoys drawing, so he's been drawing like crazy in his journal. And they love building in Minecraft because that's like part of the thing. They get to learn about something and then build it in Minecraft. So that's been really neat this last couple weeks that we've been doing. All right, so what is coming up for me here at Joyful Noise Learning? I want to let you know that I've got a lot of curriculum reviews coming up. So a lot of the curriculum I've been using this year or the year before, I want to get some reviews out so you can see more of how it works, how we used it, and what we like or what we don't like about it. Oh, and I want to do a consistency update. I did talk about why am I never going to be consistent in homeschooling, and I've been thinking about it and learning more and evaluating things, and I want to share what I've been thinking about here on this channel. So that's going to be coming up for you guys here as well. If you want more videos to watch, I have several other morning time videos on my channel. So especially if you have younger kids, I have some videos from when my kids were younger and how we did morning time. I would love for you to check those out. If you need more information on that, go find the joy of Jesus in your family and in your homeschooling, and I'll see you next time.